Doing, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Now, I want to have a chat in relation to the Springboks and them going forward, future generations, right? As we have the old guard switching, the Siya Kolisis, even Etzebeths of the world, I want to talk to you in relation to who they are going to be handing that torch down to, right? And then looking into, future star players that can potentially take their place. So please like and subscribe. It really does help the channel grow. And let's break it down. So first of all, like I say, we have all of these old legendary players like your Siya Kolisi, Ibn Etzebeth, Malcolm Marx. We have Bongi Mbonambi. We have, we have an array. Even Mapimpi at 36 years old. We have some serious talent. We've got a lot of players that are getting on in their ages, like Andre Esterhazen as well, Damien Dialende, Jesse Creel. They all getting there. They probably might have one World Cup, maybe two World Cups in them before they end up retiring. Unfortunately for players like Siya Kolisi and Ibn Etzebeth, I think they're going to struggle to make the 2027. But yeah, I want to break this down. So because we have a lot of talent on show here that Rassie is really making use of. And with the news that Rassie Erasmus wants to potentially extend his contract, which I can't wait to see, which is actually the reason why I wanted to make this video, is if he's not only looking for 2027, he's going to be looking for 2031 and potentially further. Unfortunately, there's only so much we can get out of Rassie, right? He's going to age. He's human. But how will this play out, right? Because right now he's developing for the future. He's developing players not for the now or later. He wants to prepare his 2027 World Cup, and then we're going to have a whole new list of players coming up every single year from all of the all of the elite level schools that South Africa have. And we all know just how dominant South African schooling is when it comes down to rugby and how influential it is with the Springboks, right? So this is just a basic overview. If there's any players that I missed, please bear with me. Let me know in the comment section below. But yeah, we look at your forwards. So like I say, we have your Malcolm Marx. Oxenche, he's still relatively young. He's around 27, 28 years old. So he's still got a lot more in him, especially for a forward, a prop. They are quite easily able to go into their early to mid 30s, playing potentially in their prime. So no worries about that. But we have players like your Bongi and Banambis, who's going to end up retiring very, very soon. Same thing with your Malcolm Marx, your Vincent Kochs of the world and so on. But we do have players like your Jan Hendrik Wessels, who, he's still an elite level player. I don't have any problem in relation to him. I think he is still going to be a Springbok for a very, very good long while. And he's 24 years old. He's still playing elite rugby. 24 years old. He's already making his mark on the squad. We have players like Ntlabakanye, who is probably just around the same age as a prop. He's very dominant. We've seen what he's able to do when he comes on. And I think we are going to start seeing him more involved around the first team and starting player. So we have, a good amount of depth when it comes down to props. Same thing with locks. I mean, we have a lot of changing here and there, but I think locks we are still a little bit light on. But when you have players like Ruan Nochia coming through the ranks, he's definitely one guy that you can definitely see Ibn Etzebeth passing that torch over to. But I think there's still a lot more players that need to develop. And if there is a little bit of a weaker area, I'd say locks are still very much something that needs to be improved on. There is players like Salman Murat. I personally like him. A lot of people don't. But yeah, I think a little bit more depth is needed in that aspect. In terms of back rows, there is quite a lot. We have Vincent Situka coming through, who I'm pretty certain we're going to see a direct replacement for Siya Kolisi at that number 6. And there's a lot of players that through the back, like your Evan Lewis, your Cameron Hanekoms of the world. We are pretty set and stacked when it comes down to the back row. And that's not even taking into consideration a lot of the players that are coming from the Bulls, that are coming from the Sharks, that are coming from the Lions. So we are pretty stacked in that section. Same thing with the number nines. I'm really loving Grant Williams. I really enjoy seeing Grant Williams at number nine. He obviously can play in a couple positions. He's pretty good on the wing. He can fill in at fullback if needed as well. But again, there's a lot of players that's going to be coming through the ranks that are really going to be pushing for that spot. Like the player that I really like from the Lions is Morne van der Berg. Um, I think he's absolutely brilliant. I think he's really shone for the Springboks this year from when he's been played. And I think he's only going to get better, and a potential starting spot for him. So all these other nines in the squad, they need to watch out. They really, really need to watch out, because Morne van den Berg, he's there and he's scary. He is scary, scary good. Same thing with the number 10 spot. I think the number 10 spot in terms of future, it's pretty locked. We are going to be seeing Sacha Feinberg as the starting 10. I think he is one of the brightest talents in world rugby. So there's a replacement. Obviously, got the Hendrickse brothers who are able to play there. Um, so they have a lot of talent, but I'm pretty certain we have that set ready. Sacha at 10. Centers, we actually got a good amount of centers. I mean, we have Kane Moody, who can play center, who can play winger. We've got Ethan Hooker that can play winger, center as well. So there's Jurenzo Julius, who I'm pretty certain next year or later on in the year we are going to be seeing a lot more of. He was excluded from here, but he is gonna. I'm pretty certain we are going to be seeing him quite a lot, and kind of pushing forward. We got a lot more centers that are just making waves, so it's going to be interesting to see how things play out later on in the year and who Rassie chops and changes. But we got a lot of versatility in the back. We got a lot of versatility in that back. Like I say, Ethan Hooker, he can play 14, he can play 12, he can play 13. Kanan Moody can play 11, he can play 14, he can play 13. Afilele Fassi at 15, he's 27 years old. It feels like he's been around forever. But he's my set on starting 15. But obviously, a lot of players can interchange, they can move about, which is something that I think um, Rassie loves. He loves having that ability to be able to move people around, to do whatever he needs to do. Chesson Colby, unfortunately, he's going to be retiring over the next couple of years as well. He's going to be a hard one to fill in his spot, but um, anything's possible. I mean, we've seen Etel van der Merwe, who's just been absolutely killing it. I think he's got like 3 games, 3 tries, or no, 2 games, 2 games, two games, 2 tries, or 3 tries. Both games he got man of the match for. Edward van der Merwe, an amazing, amazing player. So yeah, there's a lot of talent that we do have in the back, just sitting and waiting, and then still developing through grades, through Paul, through um, you know the 900 schools that South Africa have, just developing talent. So yeah, I think it's definitely one for the future, and I think we do have a very, very strong possibility to continue on this run. Whether South Africa is going to win the straight third World Cup, I don't know. If there's ever a time and if there's ever a coach that's going to be able to do it, it's going to be Rassie. He's the only person that I can see that can genuinely relate to the players, to get the best out of the players, to get that monster, to get that drive out of them. You know, he's the only one that I can see right now in world rugby that would be able to do this for the Springboks and to be able to get them to win a third successive World Cup. To be fair, I think there's only one team in world rugby right now that can do that, and that is the Springboks. Not obviously because they have already won 2, but looking at the All Blacks, if they were in the same position with their current squad, I wouldn't see them winning a third straight. South Africa, with the way that they are running, the way that they are being played, the way Rassie has everything, coaching staff, I feel that he has the perfect setup for South Africa to run that third straight successive World Cup. So, guys, I've been talking a lot. I want to hear what you guys think. Who do you think is the next up and coming player per position, and who's going to be the future Springboks. So drop your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.